Hi, friends. Doc South here, sitting on the back deck where my wife Sandy, and I live, and along the shores of the mighty Musconetcong. And I don't know, today I had to do an early shift at the supermarket I work at, and it's a drive through the country to get there, and I gotta say, I was enjoying myself. It was just kind of fun to, I don't know, look at being as it's Sunday morning, there wasn't much traffic. A number of deer running out in front of you. It seems like every trip I take, I miss a deer by about 5 feet. Well, what am I saying, 5 feet? That would be okay. 5 inches. It's more like 5 inches. Holy moly. They're popping out all over the place. So far, so good. I've missed the little buggers. But I was riding along and I must have seen an old piece of farm equipment, and I got to thinking. Yeah, I was sitting along the side of the road. Maybe a farmer was doing some work with some specialized piece or whatever, and it just got me to remembering. It had to be now 10, 15 years ago in the town of Washington, New Jersey, just a little bit west of Hackettstown. They had they still do. They have this wonderful parking lot in the middle of town, municipal parking lot. And one year they decided they had me over to DJ a tractor show right there in the middle of town. And I got to say, that was one of the greatest, for me personally, one of the greatest DJ gigs I think I've ever had. I mean, besides the Chatterbox, of course, but what they did was I guess it was sometime in the summer, early summer, they invited farmers and collectors of tractors to bring their equipment. Now, you were allowed to bring tractors, new and old, but mostly old was what they were looking for. And then also pieces of stationary engines. Back in the day, there were like gasoline powered engines that would operate a flywheel, and you could use the flywheel you could hook it up by way of a big leather belt to perhaps a hay baling machine, and you could throw hay in there and the hay would come out as a bale. I think now they have machines that cut the hay, and next you know, a hay bale comes out the tail end of the machine. It's cool. But back in the old days, I guess it wasn't quite like that. But in other words, it was all powered farm implements. And honestly, I got to say, it was one of the coolest shows because things were coming in from, I believe, the early 1900s, even I think possibly even some stuff from the late 1800s. It was just absolutely amazing. And some of these tractors that came in were just, you just say, my God, how did they ever find the parts to restore it and make it look like the day it was made? How could they do this? I guess maybe the farmers have some time in the winter and they do that kind of thing. I guess. I don't know, but it was absolutely beautiful. And they had me play country oldies. I played a little early rock and roll and some rockabilly, and I got to say, it made for a great day. And they even had steam engines. They had engines that you had to. I believe they had a Stanley steamer come out, which is an automobile, but it ran on steam like a steam locomotive, only, it was a car. There was, but there was all this stuff, all this machinery, and it was just the best day. Now, what they also brought, I can't think of the guy's name, so I won't even venture a guess. But the guy brought, a lot of the folks are coming in, and all of a sudden, here comes this tractor trailer. And on the back of this tractor trailer, a flatbed, taking up the whole flatbed was this giant machine. It was, it stretched the length of the flatbed. In other words, this was a machine the size of a tractor trailer. Right. The trailer part of a tractor trailer. They brought it in, and what it was a stationary engine that somehow this guy got from Ingersoll Rand out in in Phillipsburg, or yeah, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. I think at the old Ingersoll Rand plant. And this was the machine that if the power went out, as you can imagine, a big factory like that operated there, and I think it was Ingersoll Rand. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It if the power went out, they needed a massive amount of power to come on real quick, or you can imagine what it would do to production. And this thing I would say was, again, I'm just going by memory, but I would say this machine sitting on the flatbed was probably about 8 feet high, probably 25 to 30 feet long, and it was easily, I'd say 3 or 4 feet wide. Yeah. And it had all these dials and knobs and pipes and, oh my gosh, all sorts of ports all coming out of it. And this was evidently the machine that would kick in, or that they would, if the power went out, the engineers at the plant would run to it, start this baby up, and it would provide power. Okay. So it was it had to really do a number. It had to do a wild job. The generator, the electric generator would be on the back of it back in those days, and it would fire off the current so the factory could keep running. I don't think they had the generator there. It probably if you ran the machine and the generator was there, there'd probably be lightning shooting out of the back of the machine, and heaven knows people could get hurt. This was one gorgeous, beautiful machine. And I'd say probably it looked like it was built in the 20s or 30s. So, and it was restored. It looked really nice. Sitting up front as the starter motor was a Corvette V8 engine. Yeah, they had to use a Corvette engine as the starter motor for it. So you can see, we're talking, there were pistons in this machine. It was diesel powered. There were pistons the size of tree trunks, like 30-gallon drums, even maybe a little bigger than that. And I think there was something, again, memory doesn't serve me right quite, but I'm thinking there were 6 to 8 pistons in this straight block machine. Okay, and they let word go out. They came to me and said, Doc, sometime today we're going to start this thing. Warn people that it's going to be loud. It's going to be wild. I said, you're kidding. You're going to fire that baby up? They said, yeah. He said, man, be ready. I hope you got earplugs. I said, I don't, but so what? This I got to see. And I announced it, and people are just, you can see them. They had cell phones, and they're telling each other, telling people to come over. A crowd developed. And the moment came, and there in the springtime sun, these I think it took this guy and I think 3 or 4 of his kids, teenage kids, to fire this baby up. It was a precise. You had to do it just right, or look out, Mama. Well, there's all these dials you had to run around, and knobs and wheels, and oh my gosh, all this stuff you had to do to get it to go. Well, when they finally fired up the Corvette engine, they had to let that warm up so it could take the strain. They're making sure the oil levels are right. They're running back and forth, hitting dials and knobs, and all of a sudden, and again, they've got me saying, okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be loud. It's going to be noisy. It's going to be smoky. You just wait. And well, they weren't fibbing. That thing, they got the engine going. They kick it into gear. The Corvette engine goes into somehow throws its torque into the, you can see it grinding, trying to get everything to go. There's all these flywheels spinning, and again, the guys are all hitting knobs, and then all of a sudden, man, that thing fires off. There is this cloud of smoke that looked like, you remember the tornado in Wizard of Oz? It's what it looked like coming out of the top of that thing. The noise, You could hear it in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was so loud. Some people were running for their lives. I was getting closer. I said, "Oh my God, look at this thing!" Oh, and you just get sparks coming out of the exhaust pipe, flames. Oh my God, it was just the most beautiful thing you ever saw, and it was at this wonderful tractor show in the town of Washington. I think they're still cleaning the windows from all the soot. Yeah, after all these years. Oh. Gosh, and then they shut it off, and it was a thunderous applause. You thought it was Tchaikovsky doing the 1812 overture. Oh, I hear a truck going off in the distance. That's greasy kid stuff. That little bit of noise was a whisper compared to what this thing did. Yeah. Unfreaking real. You know, really, I gotta say, if anyone wants to do a tractor show, let me know. I would dearly love to DJ another tractor show. In fact, I like to do one on a regular basis, tell you the truth. Oh, God, that would be fun. Anyway, town of Washington, that thing really drew a crowd. It really did draw a crowd. And, of course, there were all the little steam engines, too, just poof, 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 poof away. But, man, when that big old Ingersoll ran, straight block took off, look out, mama. Man, that was wild. Yeah, drew current. I think the lightning shot all the way out to somewhere up around the water gap. No, they didn't. They didn't. I don't think they kicked in the generator. Just yeah, thank heaven, because people probably would have been incinerated. Yeah, it would have been. It would have been ugly. Hard to explain. Yeah, but I thought I'd say that was one beautiful, great day. Huh? Yes, sir. I'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless. You know what? Lord's Prayer moment, because there was a lot of praying going on. There were people on their knees, figuring they better get the confession in quick. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Power and the glory was, I think, the key word there for this thing. Anyway, friends, I'll see you later. God bless. Bye now.